morning, YouTube. What a wonderful day to be waking up in today. What a marvelous world we live in. And how marvelous the weather is now. It cooled off. It rained a little bit last night. Things have cooled off. And I'm just feeling wonderful and really sparky and ready to go and ready to tell you all about all the marvelous things that are coming. And we need to really get our mind into this new earth that is coming down upon us and begin to move with it and begin to get in the vortex. And the book, Getting Into the Vortex, which I, in lieu of my having my own textbook finished, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't refer to this book here, which has all the good things it has in it. And a person needs something to go along with the lessons, and this is just as good as anything. It has just as good a truth as anything. Not any use in everybody having to write it all over again each time they do the teaching. So I'm just proud to be able to present this book right here by Esther and Jerry Hicks and tell you that if you read that along with what I'm saying, that you'll understand what I'm saying better and get a lot more out of the new earth that is coming and understand a whole lot more about abundance and prosperity. But when we raise our consciousness, a wonderful and very prosperous world we know now has already started, and all we have to do is raise our consciousness to see it. It's now going on. We just don't see it until we lift our consciousness. As we lift our consciousness, all of a sudden we begin to see all sorts of multifaceted forms of abundance and prosperity and health and healing and everything all of a sudden start appearing, just like as if rain come down and the flowers started coming up and the blooms on the roses started opening. It starts opening up into prosperity and abundance more and more for us, more and more awareness of joy. We have more and more energy every day. We wake up with more energy every day. We keep more energy all during the day. Wake up happier, have better dreams, live better lives, feel better all day at work. It all just begins to mushroom out. It's the difference between a bud that hadn't hardly even started on the rose bush and then a bud that is completely flowered out. Our lives make our energy flowers out, and our health flowers out, and everything in our life flowers out. Our abundance, our eyes are closed down into that bud. But then when we begin to get into the vortex, our eyes opens up and we begin to see everything that is going on in this abundant world of ours. And so we can completely participate in it. Certainly, we know that infinite mind, our infinite source, God, infinite mind, that goes throughout the entire universe, we know that this mind who is love desires our unlimited happiness and growth and success and prosperity. We know that there is no end or ceiling. That's a principle. There's no end or ceiling in the amount of happiness we can have. There's no end or ceiling in the amount of joy that we can have, or how enduring that happiness or joy will be once we fully grasp the significance of infinite divine mind, our source, and know what all is incumbent and contained within that definition of being fully and totally omnipotent and omnipresent and omniscient. What all that implies, what all that indicates. There's a lot of I's there right there that you need to memorize. Memorize about 5 or 6 of them. What does it indicate? How important is it? What does it imply? And how intense is it? And how to identify with it, and all those different I's like that, which I'll give you later too, so that you can write them down. But it is impossible to put into words how great our future world is going to be. I mean, the future world that is coming down as we begin to raise our consciousness, the future world at which we are all creating, the more we raise our consciousness. It's impossible now to really vision how wonderful all that's going to be, but we can begin to move into it. We begin to open that bud up of our life and see how wonderful it is going to be and how wonderful it is becoming now. because of the overwhelming degree to which we are rapidly raising our consciousness. Be excited about this. Be overjoyed every day about this. Be enthusiastic about this. Be intense about this. Get intense about your rejoicing about this, and that'll move you up faster. You'll ascend faster. You'll be aware of more and more and more. The more that you become excited and exhilarated and thrilled about it, and begin to be grateful for what you are seeing. Decide then how you can participate in bringing other people also together in love and cooperation, and how you can help people raise their consciousness and awareness to see these great things that are coming. Affirmatively ask Infinite Mind every day to raise your awareness, and ask to have the evolving of your consciousness to increase. It will begin to happen. Then be ecstatically grateful for each increase in your awareness, and decide how you can utilize this increased awareness and how you can help the most people do the same. We have such vast and infinitely inventive opportunities available to us every minute. We have all forms of creativity, all multi-faceted forms of creativity available to us. We have multifaceted forms of energy available to us. We have multifaceted forms of intelligence, multifaceted amounts of intelligence available to us. And so we need to always be raising our awareness to see more of what is available for us then to participate in these areas. So many marvelous things are going to come into view that we would never believe were actually there before we begin to raise our awareness, before we begin to fully realize our immortality and what the full significance of us being immortal now. We are immortal now, right now, as immortal as we will ever be, but we don't see it as much as we will. We will see it more and more every day and realize the significance of it more and more every day, and benefit more and more of it every day. But we are as immortal now as we will ever be. We just don't see it now as much as we will. And this is a never-ending process of growth and realization. How vast this is, and how much energy, joy, and abundance is actually there for us, we will begin to see more and more every day as we get more and more into the vortex and begin to open that rosebud out more and more in awareness. We will not be able to believe then how much productivity, how much energy and creativity will descend upon us as we sufficiently raise our awareness. Ecstasy and total energy and exhilaration is just around the corner. It's just around the corner for all of us. It's as close as us raising our consciousness. Energy, creativity, ecstasy, exhilaration, enchantment, all the marvelous things in this life are just around the corner. They're as close as us deciding to raise our consciousness and begin to see them, begin to get in the vortex. Energy, abundance, and creativity is endless, literally endless and limitless. The first step in getting more happiness and abundance is to recognize fully that it is there and it is infinitely limitless. If we don't understand that it is limitless, then we're going to continue to put limits on it. Once we understand that it is limitless, then that makes way for us to raise our consciousness so that we become more limitless ourselves. Even more surprising is that our consciousness and awareness is fully able to grow and take in more and more without any ceiling or limit at all. We need to get that into our mind that there's no ceiling or limit at all. If you're writing down in your notebook you want a $25 million house and 12 Rolls Royces and 2 or 3 Jaguars, 2 or 3 Lamborghinis, and 2 or 3 Mitsubishis, not Mitsubishi, Maseratis, 2 or 3 Maseratis, and you may want some Mitsubishis too, but Maseratis is the one I want. Maserati and Lamborghini and Jaguar and Rolls Royces. That's what the ones I want. But if you're writing those down in your notebook and you've got all that written down there, and you say, well, I want to manifest, I want to demonstrate and manifest all those things, then the important thing for you to do is realize that there is no ceiling or limit on it. And so even if you've got all those things written down there and several $100 million written down there as well, you still haven't reached your ceiling or your limit by any means. And so you're fully capable of having those things. It's just a matter of getting into the vortex. That's the whole meaning. If you want to know what this means, that's what it means. That means what they mean by getting into the vortex is that when you raise your consciousness to the level that they're talking about in this book, $25 million house is just small peanuts to you. All these 12 Rolls Royces and Maseratis and Lamborghinis and all that, that's just small peanuts. And you'll have a lot of other things much more vast, especially energy, health, and happiness. Especially multitudes of energy, health, happiness, peace, all of those kinds of things that are worth more than billions and trillions of dollars could buy. You'll have over and beyond your $25 million. You'll just happen to have your $25 million house, or 2 or 3 of them, just to be able to gaze out and enjoy your happiness and your joy and your health. You'll have your health will be so vibrant and so energetic that when you sit there gazing out across the mountainsides or the valleys from the large windows in your $25 million house, you'll just enjoy it a little bit more, a whole lot more, because you have all of this health and the happiness to go with it. And but it'll be the health and the happiness and the energy and the joy, which will be the real happiness and joy in your life. It'll just be nice to have that $25 million house to sit there in and gaze out of those nice windows, because you'll be able to see a little bit more, and it just kind of adds icing to the cake of your joy and happiness. But when we realize that getting into the vortex is to be totally healthy and strong and energetic and ageless and immortal and all those things, then we begin to realize then that these other things is only icing on the cake, but we also have them too. And so we have no limit on it. We just have no limit on anything. We'll increase through our raised consciousness. We will increase and geometrically compound the networks of connections in our physical brains, such that we will be able to be tremendously creative and inventive and energetic and productive in every way. And as I just described, all of our nice energy and awareness and good eyesight and everything to see all those things physically will all be there, and we will surprise ourselves every day as to all the good and great things that we get done easily. And we'll get 100 times as much done. I mean, we'll get 10 times more done in less time and energy than we used to do to get one thing done. And so there's no end to the heights to which we can achieve once we get into this vortex. And I have to keep pointing this out, because you're going to have to read through this book in order to ever. I'd have to put out 100,000 videos to ever be able to make you to understand, unless you also study books like this along with it. I might eventually, after I put off enough tapes, I might eventually, cover all of this, but it'll take a while, and so it would be better if you had a whole lot better if you had this book to go along with it. That's why I keep pointing that out, because you don't want to wait till I finally get to all that. Therefore, there is no end to the people who we can help or the good we can do for the world. Let's begin this great adventure then, right now. Let's begin to get into that vortex. Let's begin to awaken, begin to let that rosebud of our life mushroom out. Only ecstasy and adventure and awareness awaits us in this new age and this new earth. Let us begin to see what all is infinitely here and what all we can be there, because there are no limits to our mental or creative ability except what we ourselves put on our mind. So let us remove these limitations and thus fully empower ourselves. And I'll see you on the next video, and we'll continue these great discussions.